And, Coach, we are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome here in New Orleans. The setting in this dome just serves to amplify the excitement of the folks in New Orleans as their Saints burst from the tunnel a moment ago. They're set, and we're set as well as the Saints get ready to do battle with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is Peyton Barber. He led them in rushing a season ago. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It's Patrick Robinson there on the stop.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Now after the false start, they need 8 yards here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Winston. Looking for Perriman there. He's got him.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. So on 4th down, out comes the Bucs free agent signee Bradley Pinion to punt. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. New Orleans getting the football back here, and earlier we discussed their victory over Dallas last week. So you look at what Teddy Bridgewater's done in his 2 games, and we said he didn't throw for a touchdown pass in Week 4, but the teams that they've beaten in Week 3 and 4, that's impressive.
To put it mildly, because Seattle was undefeated, and they beat them on the road. Then they come home and play Dallas, and probably 98% of the people picked Dallas to beat them in New Orleans. They defended their home turf. So prior to that, remember, opening night, had to kick a field goal by Will Lutz to beat Houston. Then they had a tough one on the road against the Rams, ended up losing that. And then without Drew Brees, Teddy Bridgewater's 2-0, the Saints are 2-0, and 2 teams lost their undefeated records. The Saints team might have a nice little run in them right now. Home against Tampa Bay, then they go to Jacksonville as they do the Florida 2-step.
They'll run. This is Kamara. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3-and-out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Tampa Bay getting the ball back here. Yeah, as mentioned earlier, big road win in L.A. Week 4. Highest scoring game in the 44-year history of the franchise when they put up 55 points on the Rams. And good to see them bounce back, Charles, after that tough defeat at home to the Giants in Week 3.
Yeah, how about that? And now think about what they have ahead of them, because they actually have a chance to get right in their own division, the NFC South, because they go to New Orleans, and then they're home against Carolina. Now, when the schedule first came out, you're thinking, go to New Orleans, deal with Drew Brees, play Carolina, deal with Cam Newton. Instead, you're getting Teddy Bridgewater for the Saints. You're getting Kyle Allen for Carolina. The other problem, though, is simply this. Those two, a combined 4-0 since they've become starters for their respective teams.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So second down, still 10 yards to go, ball on the 43. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
And that was a really nice run there to bring up 3rd and short. After the incompletion on first down, it's awfully nice to have a running back that you can hand it to and put you back in a good situation.
Ready? Blue ready. Check, check. Walk 54. Walk 54. I got one. Let's go.
They go back to the ground, this time Barber. And he will have the first down as he gets this to the 47. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
50 ready. White 25. 53. Check, 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 check.
First down, they go with Barber again. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
Peyton Barber, a surprise workhorse for the Buccaneers in 2018. I don't think they expected him to have 234 carries, but he certainly felt like he could carry the load and just carried it there for a nice gain.
And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. From the 39, Winston. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they've got it with a 1st and 10.
Ready. Black 22. 53. Mike. Switch up.
Play fake. Winston. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. Second down.
Not only did they drop what looked like an interception in the end zone, they blew a golden opportunity to shift the momentum.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Jameis to throw it. He'll find Barber out of the backfield. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there.
Let's get it.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And Gay knocks this one through. And the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the second quarter now, and we do have our first points, a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who could gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points on the board. I'm loving this kind of game.
It feels like kickers might play a big role in this one.
Yes, make sure you give them the respect they deserve. They could cost you a game or win you one.
The punter Pinion now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion, guys a little bit jumpy.
But you do.
Oh, you understand the same way. It's just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went
and
3
now
and
they
out.
have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. A gain of 6 there on first.
Let's go.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Here's Kamara off the draw. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 3.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. Gets this to a standout receiver, Thomas. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
A big pickup there, 18 yards and a Buccaneer first.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him.
Let's make these babies cry all the way, man. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Ready.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, Winston. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. Well, CD, we are a quarter way through the season already. I'm curious, if you look at each conference, which division race is most intriguing to you right now?
Well, can we start in the NFC?
You do whatever you want.
Because if so, let's go to the North. Because we thought it would be a tough division coming into the season because I felt like you could make a case for everyone but Detroit when the season began. Now we're looking at Minnesota. They seem a little uncertain at 2-2. Chicago just lost their quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, for an indefinite amount of time, but that defense is playing awfully well. And Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers. So I think that division now is brutal, and then you've got to throw in Detroit. It's not the same old Lions. Matthew Stafford, he plays with heart, played hurt, and I think that they're improving as time goes on.
How about the AFC?
Well, I think the AFC South. Everyone's 2-2. We thought it would be a tough division. We thought it would be intriguing. And Gardner Minshew's mustache really adds a little extra intrigue to the whole thing. And we saw Marcus Mariota get off the deck and play well last week, too.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Let's get in there. Let's get in there now.
To the air again with Winston. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
The Bucs on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Winston. And that is incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Here's Bradley Pinion now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And in a spot like this, still more than a minute, I think if you put something on the board before halftime, that would go a long way towards helping them get back into the game.
There actually is something to the psychology of the game at times, isn't there? How much better would they feel running into the locker room, as you noted, with something on the board in a positive fashion? You're exactly right. It's a great opportunity to get that done.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. The Pro Bowler Michael Thomas was the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down. Well, Charles, taking a step back for a second. Let's look at the undefeated teams still left in the NFL. We got New England, KC, they're 4-0. And then San Fran, they were open last week. They didn't have a game, so they're still at 3-0. We only have 3 teams left.
And they had the easiest path, not just because they had the open week, but how about New England getting challenged by Buffalo? Yes, they were on the road, but you don't often think of Buffalo as a team to really press New England. They did. And Kansas City, they got a heck of a test in Detroit, had to score with 20 seconds left on the clock to win that game. So both of them remained undefeated, but not without struggles.
That's the interesting thing about Buffalo. I think we learn more about them in their 1 loss this year than we have in their 3 victories.
I think we would say the same thing about Kansas City because of how they got pressed, but we'd also say the same thing about Detroit, how they played Kansas City in that game.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt.
White 25. All day, just like that. Just like that.
1st down, Winston. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Partner, earlier we were talking about the undefeated teams in the league. Let's switch that and look at the teams at the bottom, like Miami, Washington, Denver, etc. Who is there hope for that is off to a really rough start?
And if we're talking about hope, are we talking about this season or are we talking about the future?
Well, let's do in the future.
Okay, in the future, well, Miami's accumulating draft picks at an incredible rate, but they'll have to hit on all of them and make great decisions in free agency. If so, then they definitely have hope for the future. If you're Washington, well, you drafted Dwayne Haskins this past year. Can you build around a rookie quarterback, a young guy, and make this thing work? If you're Denver, you've got to get some things figured out because normally their defense carries them. Arizona, well, of course, Kyler Murray's there in a new system. Will it take root? Will it take hold? Atlanta is the biggest surprise to me in the early going at 1-3. I don't think any of us saw this coming, but they can still climb back into the race if they can get on a little bit of a run.
So Atlanta would be a team, if we're talking this season, you think still might have some hope?
I still believe that in the NFC South, a tough division, but because of familiarity breeding contempt, they won't be as concerned about playing those teams. They know them, they're familiar, and they have Matty Ice, Matt Ryan at quarterback. They can get hot in a hurry.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Kamara now to return. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
They've been playing sound fundamental defense thus far and able to keep this offense from creating a major dent on the scoreboard.
Able to force the incompletion, but still waiting for that game-changing play. You feel like it's coming, the first sack, the first turnover.
In a sense, they're playing old-school defense right now. The new-school defense is what you said, taking the ball away.
That'll be complete to Cook. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. The Saints on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. From the gun, Bridgewater. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Now the Saints will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
Here we go. 15 on it. Check your hot read.
Bridgewater on first down. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 14 yards is the pickup. First down, New Orleans. So we've hit halftime. Just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They go play action. Bridgewater. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. How about the defensive effort from both of these teams that we've seen in this game?
Would you say it's like a high-stakes chess match right now?
Chess is one way to go. Yeah, I like it.
Okay, the only reason I say that, you feel like they're contemplating their moves before actually making one, and none of them being done very confidently.
Truth be told, I've never played chess, and I know that I'm not smart enough to play chess. Guys like you with your IQ, you can pull that off.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. He's going to wind up and air it out. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. He's been terrific so far. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they look to add to that lead.
Hey, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. They'll run it now out of the gun. And once more, this play going in the wrong direction. The Saints get to him behind the line again. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
Back, 54. I got.
Working out of the gun, Winston. He completes it to Evans. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to about the 19. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Well, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. Levante David, the Bucs' leading tackler, 6 of the last 7 years in there to make the stop.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Play fake. Bridgewater. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Jared Cook, the tight end, was the target. And it's 3rd and 5.
You know they wanted, you know they expected. They needed him to be sharp coming out after the half. Unfortunately, he's missed his first 3 throws. I wonder if he got out late and missed his warm-up time.
The whole team did come out a little bit later than usual. I don't know, maybe there's something to that.
Must have been a heck of a halftime speech.
Yeah, maybe just trying to rally the troops back from this deficit. Open man is Michael Thomas. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup. 1st down, New Orleans.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a 1st down for him, too.
Double time. 3 down.
Bridgewater now looking to throw on 1st. Gets this one to Hill. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Ndamukong Suh with a sack. We've seen that a ton since he entered the league in 2010. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw is Bridgewater. He gets it to Thomas. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 39.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now Kamara. And an alley to run. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 10 yards, good for his Saints, 1st down. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
Ready? 54, right there. 54, Mike. It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
A 1st down throw for Bridgewater. That is incomplete. He was trying to get it to his running back, Alvin Kamara, and that'll bring up 2nd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
On 2nd down, Bridgewater again. And brought in by the tight end Cook. And, oh, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And they've got another 1st and 10 as the penalty keeps this drive moving.
What we got? What we got? What we got?
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them. Put the pressure on them.
Here's 2nd and goal, operating from the 8-yard line. Kamara trying again. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. They wind up with 6 on the hook up there, but it's not enough. 4th and goal.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
The kick by Lutz is good. And in the fourth quarter, this game is tied. This hasn't exactly been a battle of one touchdown after the other, quite the opposite. But at 3-3 now here in the fourth, it's been an entertaining game considering just 2 field goals.
Yeah, is it really a football game now, or are we watching baseball? This feels like a pitcher's duel, doesn't it? Nice and tense on the edge of your seat. Have you been scoring this one? A lot of strikeouts and ground balls in this one.
Field goals all we've had so far. 3-3 now as the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Now this one to his running back out of the backfield. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. Winston from the gun on 3rd down. And that is incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, and we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play.
We play to win. Let's go.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe
that.
bashed him.
Super toe.
Bridgewater. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. William Golston just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Now Bridgewater. And this is Cook with a grab. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
The Saints on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 14. And Thomas has it. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
Ready? White 25. Check. Block 54. Block 54. And here we go.
They'll start on the ground with Barber. Oh, and you can forget overtime. This is going to be a safety in the final minute of the game. Oh, my. Gosh, this game's felt a bit weird all along the whole way through, and no better play maybe exemplifies that weirdness than that safety right there.
Partner, you've got a tie game and time running out. You've got to be ultra careful down on that end of the field, and this could very well be the play that decides this football game.
So with 40 seconds left, we'll see the onside kick. If they've ever needed one to go their way, it's now. And the Saints are going to get to this one, so that should about do it. 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. The Saints in victory formation now as they'll take the knee. The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Down to a knee goes Bridgewater, and that ought to do it.
I don't know about you, partner, but watching them take the knee there and finish this one off, I feel like I'm going to be sore tomorrow. This was one bruising affair. Low scoring, but my kind of football.
Not a work of art, but maybe in your world, a little bit of a work of art. You like the defensive side.
I thought it was pretty. I can't help myself. I thought it was pretty.
And it ends in a kneel down as the clock rolls down to zeros. Well, Charles, the old saying, the old cliche, if you will, points at a premium. That certainly applied here, didn't it?
And that almost felt like open up a time capsule, didn't it? Old school football, low scoring, close game. What a way to finish it up.
You loved it, didn't you?
I certainly
loved
did.
the defenses.
I certainly did. Brought back the images of the game of old.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Saints are winners here as we say so long from New Orleans.